Patagonia Plateau, Argentina, 2037. The dry wind sweeps through the empty steppe, bringing the smell of rocky earth and mist. Under the cloudless sky, in the middle of a land that no one has looked at for a century, a young man is setting up a field tent on the hillside. His name is Mateo Vargas, a geologist who has just left his research position at the National Academy of Sciences to pursue a strange magnetic field disturbation recorded in this wilderness. Mateo is not the kind of dreamer. He is a purely scientific person, rational, careful, and skeptical. But that night, when the campfire was only the embers and the wind calmed down like a blink of an eye, he saw something in the dark. Small light spots. A lot. Sparkling, growing from the ground, like metal flowers. I thought I was a flower. But when they get closer, they are still there, not disappearing. Only about 30 centimeters high, the alloy petals are as thin as hair, emitting rhythmic light, as if breathing. Mateo pulls out the light spectrometer. No thermal radiation. No chemical reaction. No reflection. They glow by themselves. The next morning, Mateo went to the nearest village, a small village called El Refugio, with less than 200 indigenous people living. I brought a photo of the flowers, looking forward to the explanation. But when the oldest person in the village, Mrs. Amara, looked at him, her eyes widened as if she had seen something from a long time ago. Las flores de estrellas, she whispered in Spanish. Flowers of the stars. Don't touch them, son. They are not for humans. Mateo smiled faintly. But Mrs. Amara didn't smile. Every few generations, flowers bloom. And every time like that, someone will not come back. That person always sees the light first. No one in the village wants to say more. Young people consider the story to be superstitious. The old man avoided Mateo's gaze as if he had touched something taboo. The next night, Mateo returned to the plain where he saw the light. But this time, they are not only bright. They raised their heads, turned to him. Not a hallucination. Not the wind. The thin metal flowers are moving extremely slowly, synchronously, as if feeling him. Mateo stepped back. His hands trembled. His reason shouted, "This is the wind. It is geomagnetic. It's induction." But his heart is not sure anymore. The next morning, he woke up with a faint red streak on his wrist, as if someone put his hand in and left a warm and cold mark. No swelling. No pain. Just strange. He called the research center to send data. But the contact is invalid. The satellite signal works, but cannot be sent. There is only one message that automatically pops back on the screen, repeated. Mateo Vargas. Entered an unnamed area. Status. Observation. On Tuesday night, when Mateo woke up in the middle of a chaotic dream, he saw a figure standing in the middle of the glowing flower field. Unknown face. But that person's hand glows with alloys just like flowers. And when Mateo picked up the camera, he is looking straight at you. 3 consecutive nights. Mateo Vargas can't sleep anymore. Not because of fear, but because every time he closes his eyes, he sees a different world. A world without cities. There are no people. Only light. Light, suspended, covering the ground like a field of stars. He saw himself walking, but not with his feet. His body is thin and tall. Slender hands, silver color. Every step leaves a streak of light in the air. You are not Mateo in that dream. And worse, he felt familiar. The next morning, he returned to El Refugio village, looking for Mrs. Amara. I saw them, she said as soon as she saw his eyes, before she could ask. The species from the constellation Lyra used to live here, long before us. They arrived when the earth was still untouched. And they leave, or disappear, when humanity begins to multiply. She recounted an ancient legend. In the past, there were light beings living in harmony with the earth. No need to say, no need to build. They exist with plants, atmospheres, geomagnets, as part of planetary circadian rhythms. Coming from the constellation Lyra, they spread grains of light, transplanted into the soil as a message or warning. Over time, those particles sleep peacefully, waiting for those who can listen. He is always a loner, always the first to see. Mateo doesn't believe. He is a scientist. The legend has no place in the report. But his body is not the same as before. His biometer began to emit strange signals. The magnetic field around him fluctuated, as if he was emitting his own wave. The brainwave meter shows a sharp increase in activity in the occipital lobe, the area that controls dreams, imagination, and image perception. I don't dream anymore, Mateo wrote in his diary. I am remembering. Wednesday night. He returned to the field, this time carrying a geomagnetic scanner, a night camera, and an ultra-short receiver. The metal flowers are still there. But this time, they vibrated slightly, as if they were giving a signal, not by sound, but by memory. And then Mateo collapsed. No pain, not unconscious. Just melt, and the feeling of drifting back to a memory that has never been mine. He found himself standing on the primitive earth. No one, no animals, only light, and suspended bodies like living nebulae. You are one of them. He saw the earth touched by conscious life for the first time. He woke up after 47 minutes. Sweating, the camera is still running, but the ice is completely white. No sound, no picture. There is only one piece of code emitted from an extremely short receiver, without passing through anyone's hands. Lyra Initiate 47. Return path active. Mateo brought the code to the village. Mrs. Amara looked and nodded. The first look was something like, accepting. I was called. But it's called one thing. Whether you can come back or not is another matter. A villager, a young man named Diego, whispered. When I was a child, I used to see flowers blooming. A person in the village touched it. That person lights up, then melt like smoke. Mateo rewrote the whole thing. But the internet signal still does not leave the area. It seems that nothing can escape from this place, except the light itself. On Thursday night, Mateo woke up in the middle of the forest, but did not remember when he was there. He stood among hundreds of star flowers, all of which were leaning towards him, as if bowing. In the middle of the forest, a low voice sounded. There was no source. Memories are seeds, and people are just temporary land. We are about to bloom. Mateo Vargas is no longer a geologist. After 5 nights in the middle of the Patagonia Plateau, with metal flowers glowing like silent starlight, with dreams that did not belong to him, and biological signs far beyond human understanding, he gradually felt he was being remembered. It's not that I remember anything, but the earth is remembering you. Friday. Mateo woke up in the tent at noon. His head hurt like a hammer. In his hand was a notebook, but not his handwriting. The inscriptions are light symbols. The language is not clear, but when he looks at it, he understands. We are not biological species. We are visual memories. When the planet is still enough, we are awakened. He no longer checks the geomagnetic meter, because it is you who are emitting electric waves. Every time he touched the metal, the surface vibrated slightly, as if identifying him. Mateo follows the light signal to the deepest depression of the steppe. There, the flowers grow the thickest. Their wings are not alloys, but matter that has never been recorded in the elemental system, a type of living compound, oscillating between solid and plasma. He bent down, about to touch his hand, and when the fingertips have just touched the petals, the world immediately changed. No more plateau, no more blue sky, only light. Billions of rays, like the neural network of the universe, is showing. And in that light, he saw himself, but not himself. He saw a Lyra body, tall, slender, body like made of living crystals, walking among the fields of light. The earth at that time was a pristine, clear, noiseless place. Only the pulse of light spread throughout the planet. The Lyra species lives in harmony with the planet's magnetic field. Each individual is a note in the great biosymphony. Then people came, not with malice, but with instability. Linear thinking, fearful brain, and possessive desire caused the magnetic field to fluctuate. The field of falling stars fell into a long sleep. The dream ends with a final image. A Lyra body finally looked up at the sky, raised the last particle of light, buried in the ground, then disappeared. Mateo woke up. The sky is dark. The field in front of me no longer stands still. The flowers have moved. No one saw them move. But obviously, the position is different. They surround Mateo in a concentric circle. It's like creating an energy circuit around your body. He returned to the tent. On the wrist, the old blush has turned into a glowing symbol, the symbol of the light particle in the dream. He took the camera to take a picture. But every time I look at the photo, that symbol does not appear. The next morning, Mateo was blocked by a group of people. They are not villagers. Do not wear government uniforms. A tall man with a cold voice. Are you Vargas? Satellite data shows that the electric field around him is constantly changing the digital stage. Who gave you access to this area? Mateo didn't answer. He knows. This is an independent research organization, the kind that does not exist on the map. They didn't come to study. Came to keep something that shouldn't be freed. Night. The sky of Patagonia is no longer dark. The field of falling stars has bloomed all over. Millions of flowers glow at the same time, creating a huge halo on the ground, visible from the satellite. Mateo stands in the center. His body glowed in rhythm. His eyes reflect images of memories that do not belong to this time. And then, he disappeared. Does not disappear. Don't fly up. It's just not here anymore. At the exact position where he stood, there was only a row of alloy footprints, shining slightly, leading straight to the northern mountains. A few weeks later, the villagers of El Refugio saw star flowers begin to grow in the direction, as if drawing a map. And on that map, the name Mateo appeared with light. The one who brought the star back. 10 days after Mateo Vargas disappeared, the Patagonia Plateau became a global hotspot. The satellites of NASA, ESA, and unnamed units all headed towards that place at the same time, where that night, a strange strip of light appeared on the Earth's surface, accurately imitating the shape of the constellation Lyra. No one can explain. The villagers of El Refugio did not speak. The old man burns incense. The child looked up at the sky with quiet eyes. They know not someone is coming back, but a part of the awakening planet. In the meeting room of the secret research organization, images from the thermal camera show that the field of light continues to spread, not according to the biological path, but according to the frequency pattern, like thought waves. And at the center, the bright alloy footprint has not faded yet, led straight up the northern mountains. There is no sign that the walker has ever returned. The man who used to confront Mateo now sits alone, opens a device discovered in the tent he left behind. Is a small crystal block, does not record data, does not broadcast. But when he picked it up, it emitted memories. An image appeared in his mind. Mateo, standing in the middle of the star field. Don't say anything. But in his eyes, there is a whole universe in motion. In the middle of the plateau, star flowers begin to bloom cyclically. During the day, fold, hide under the grass. At night, open, glow according to the biological rhythm, not of anyone else, but the Earth. And then, on the 13th night since Mateo disappeared, an event happened. From the middle of the flower area, a person came out. No camera clearly recorded the shape. It is only known that the person is wearing a light robe, gray-white hair, and when walking, the flower tilts along as if bowing. The villagers whispered, "El que regreso con la luz." The one who brings the light back. That person didn't say anything. Just put your hand on an old tree trunk, and the tree starts to glow. Every strand of bark sparkles like crystal, then turns off, leaving a strange symbol, which is the symbol on Mateo's wrist. The next morning, that person left. Only a row of flowers has just grown, leading deep into the mountain. But this time, no one is afraid. No one finds it unusual. They just whispered to each other that Earth is remembering. From that year onwards, every time the constellation Lyra reaches the highest position in the night sky, the fields of falling stars bloom brilliantly. And everyone standing in the middle of the flower dreamed the same dream. They find themselves standing in a world without people, only light and rhythm. And there is always a person walking over, without saying a word, just putting his hand on their forehead. When they woke up, they didn't remember anything. But the heart is soft, as if it has just found something that has been buried deep from the previous life. Mateo Vargas is not missing. He just returned to the right place where he belonged. And his light, his memory, is now passing through every petal, every wind,